See spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Came the sun and
Hey,
the rain.
Levin, is it?
See spider went up the spout.
Looks like your mic is on.
Sorry, yeah.
No worries. Hi everyone, welcome to the benchmarking tool weekly sync and workgroup serving. Today is April 24th. The meeting is now being recorded. Please add any topics to the list and add yourself as an attendee as well. Let's get started. Yeah, looks like Sachin has a topic. We can start with that. And then we can go over some of the other open PRs as well. And I want to briefly touch upon some open issues and what to prioritize next. We can cover those. Cool. Sachin, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, this is actually an open PR. I got some comments from Brendan. Thanks for that. Yeah, I was waiting actually for the another PR to go in before continuing work on this. There was a PR from I don't remember now, but it was about the Prometheus implementation for metrics collection. So I think that was quite important for the how we set up our components. So yeah, I was just waiting for that before I add more things in this multi-stage PR.
Makes sense. So this one, I think Aishwarya said like this week she's out, but next week she can get this in. Also, she mentioned she might send this out from her personal GitHub account. So this PR might take a few more days before this can be merged. So yeah, if we don't want to block on that, I would say, yeah, we can get the multi-stage one merged and then see how we can decouple it from the Prometheus metrics one.
Yeah, sounds good. On that PR itself, there was a particular comment about burst requests versus continuous requests. Brendan, can you talk about that a little bit more? Because that sounds like a useful feature. I'm trying to understand how that could be implemented.
Oh, sure. So I think my main comment was mostly around like how if we were to have multi-stage requests, what could we use to send just bursts of requests, like say just 100 requests at second 0 and then none after that, and then just wait for all of those to be resolved before continuing.
Wait for them to complete before we start the second stage. Is that
exactly? Yeah. I also there was just I also had another comment about like the behavior between behavior between stages. So in say for all the requests in stage 1, do we wait for all of those to get resolved as well before we start on the request in stage 2, or do we just immediately we start sending requests the requests in stage 2 immediately after all of the requests in stage 1 have been sent?
right? Yeah, at the moment the current implementation is it's set. You can set an interval before you can start the next stage, but it doesn't wait for the request to complete. Okay, that will have an effect on the performance itself. So definitely a consideration. About the burst request, I think that would be another load type. Right now we support 2 different loads, right? For a duration, you can set a constant load over time. The burst one would be another type, I believe. You'll have to implement that.
Yeah, so burst, I think we can make it work with how the multi-stage one is today, right? For example, technically you can say stage 1, send a request stage 1, but then in stage 2, do a burst in traffic to like double it to like request rate 2 or something like that, right? So as long as we have the rate, the duration that we need to run the stage in, and what is the cooldown period between stages configurable, first is something we should be able to use these parameters to configure. Does that work, Brendan?
That if I understand that correctly, yeah, that could work. I mean, we also could add a max number of requests option as well. That would solve the ask, but that's not super high priority.
Yeah, I'll try to address the other comments in the PR. Yeah, this one, the burst request, I think we'll have to separate into a new PR.
Yeah, I would say we shouldn't block on that. Having like multiple request rate that we can specify and some cooldown period in between, I think we should be good.
Cool, sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, let's look at some of the other open PRs here. So Prometheus client one, like I mentioned, that might be early next week sometime. But any open things here that people want to call out? Or I see there has been a lot of discussion. Anything, Brendan, you'd like to call out or summarize?
Nothing at the moment. This is one that I was going to take a look at later today.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I do see there are a few open comments too.
Yeah, feel free to take another look. And any pending things, we'll try to get it resolved. Yeah, and also let's see what are the minimal set of things we can address to have it merged, and then do some things in follow PRS. And
So there's a tiny thing on that PR. I've marked it as a question. I've added a comment basically on the Prometheus client one. It's basically we have the metrics client and you have the report gen component, right? So
yeah,
from what I understand, the metrics client should be sending the metrics, and the metrics should be collected somewhere else. The metrics client itself, or when I say metrics client here, I mean the component that's making the requests, right? The inference request. That should not be tasked with collecting the metrics, because the metrics client itself could fail, or as we scale that component, it might be harder to collect metrics. So it's probably fine for that PR, yeah. But long term, we should think about sending these metrics somewhere in one place where we can collect all these metrics, rather than collecting these metrics in the client itself and then sending it back.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're saying like instead of sending requests to the request to Prometheus and collecting the metrics and then sending it to the report gen, we don't want to have that logic in the client. Is that the point, Sachin?
So one of the things the client is doing, it has a list where it's storing the metrics as it's making these requests. I'm not sure if that's the right place to store those metrics. It should sort of store them somewhere, fire and forget sort of thing, because the client itself could crash at some point when the load is very high.
Yeah. So how do we make sure what we are collecting is persisted, and should it be somewhere else that we should collect it, right?
Yeah, I think I don't have a good answer for that right now. But usually people, the usual solutions include sending it to a data store, something like Prometheus, things like that again. Yeah, just a consideration from that PR. Otherwise, generally, the work done there looks good.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's look at the other pending ones. Yeah, the FMPerf one and the GitHub release workflow. I think this one we should probably be able to check in. See the only open comment, be the service account token one. Yeah, I'll ping Chen to see if we can get this merged. I think she has been a little busy with KubeCon and some other things. So yeah, I'll ping to see if we can get this one merged. On adding the entire FMPerf library and dependencies, I think there are three main things I listed here that would be good to resolve before we can get this merged. Yeah, mainly how we can have this be a separate library component here, and how do we. So this also like brings in some of the existing things from FMPerf for which we have a different mechanism to do it in inference perf. So how we can kind of deduplicate some of that stuff before we can merge it. So there might be some work needed to do that. We'll follow up on those. Cool. Anything else on the open PRs? If not, we can move to the issues. Okay, here I think Suraj created one on having the image pushed. I think this is an open item that Chen has been looking into. So we will, yeah, we can get that addressed soon. So add Kubernetes configuration to benchmarking tool. I think this was meant to be the next step once we have the image pushed somewhere. Brendan, what is your current plan here since you commented?
So current plan is just creating a job manifest that can a job manifest around this or a manifest for a job that uses this image, and that job would reference a config map with the input config.
You said add a job to deploy the tool and get the results.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I think that should be good. And let's add a way to fetch the report as well from the job, right?
Right. Yeah. But I haven't looked too much into the report gen yet, and how we persist that. So that's my current immediate next step with this.
Sounds good. Is the report today in a separate JSON file or something, or is it just being printed to standard out?
Yeah, I think it's just the mock one printed to standard out.
Okay. Cool. So I'll assign this one to Brendan. Yeah, maybe for now, let's just add a job and we can just print out the current report like we do. And then we can add writing to a separate file and formatting it a little better.
Agree.
Yeah, anything else from here people feel is top priority to take up after some of the in-flight PRs are read? I'm wondering if we can also start labeling this in some way on Jar, like maybe you can use priority importance zone or something similar.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did have. Oh, go ahead.
Gondon.
Oh, yeah, I did have one question about the CSV report. If we do, like, would we want to split that into two separate issues?
The two issues would be what?
Should we split this into two separate issues? At least for our purposes, it would be super helpful to have per request level metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So per request level metrics, you mean we dump a CSV out for every single request that we send, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that can be a separate one. I think the report itself obviously needs to be aggregated and provide just the set of metrics that we need. And the full dump can even include like the exact prompt that was sent, and it can be like a trace log kind of a thing too, right? So we can
Right,
look at it
yeah.
to like debug any benchmarking related issues. Yeah, I would say, yeah, since this is the aggregated report, you can probably create a separate one for that.
Will do.
Cool. Logger, yeah, this would be good to add as well. Say in one of the improvements. And I think the accurate prompt tokens is something we should resolve. Do you know what's the latest on this, Sachin? Like the accuracy issue was because of um, us having difficulty counting it when there is like system prompt and user prompt in some context.
Yeah, correct. So I think Vivek already had a solution for that, if I remember correctly. Just we talked about a follow-up PR, so yeah, need to catch up on that. I'll follow up with Vivek.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, since accuracy will be important for us to make sure what we are
Yeah.
putting is good. Sounds good. Yeah, so the top ones looks like we want to make sure we have a way to run it on Kubernetes cluster. We obviously the container image pushed, and the report itself. And then it would basically be adding additional metrics to the existing report and the Prometheus metrics that will come in. Yeah, so those for the next set of items look good to me. Yeah, one thing from our side, I think like more of the GK folks will have time to contribute more in the next few weeks. So yeah, if we can accelerate some of this, I think that would help in getting like an initial V 0.1 release out.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. Any other questions or topic? Okay. If not, we'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thanks.